Hello and welcome to episode 350 of the Epic Film Challenge. This is following on from episode 200 where we reviewed Troll. So I thought it would be fun to review Troll 2. So yeah, Troll 2, which is, hailed as the best, worst movie ever made. In fact, there's a film about it that was made by the guy who starred in it, the little kid, called Best Worst Movie. But we didn't watch that, and we probably won't. But Troll 2...
I'm interested now.
You're interested?
Yes.
Apparently it's really good, it's got good reviews. We're not going to do it like we did the first Troll film, but we will show you clips from the film. Now, the storyline... I've forgotten what the storyline was.
Trolls.
I kept notes. It's not Trolls, that's the thing. You see, whoever made this film, they went, hey look, there's a film called Troll that was... I don't know, I don't think was Troll successful? Do you know?
I had never heard about it before.
No. Anyway, this Troll 2 is not a sequel to Troll. In fact, it's a film about goblins. At no point in the film is the word troll ever mentioned. And they refer to them as goblins throughout the film. I mean, the town that they visit is called Nilbog, which is goblin spelled backwards. Oh, so clever. So obviously they're like, right, okay, so we're making this film. It's about goblins, but no one's interested, so let's call it Troll 2. They even use the same font from Troll. So, I don't know why they were trying to, ride off the success of a film that was shit anyway. Film starts with this cheesy 80s music as this guy is running through the forest, and then we learn that this a grandfather telling his grandson a story. And then there's this goblin who's disguised as a woman with those really fake freckles. It's like, what the hell's going on there? So like, they just got a pencil and was like, deet, 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 deet.
Horrible. And
then it turns out that this young boy is actually imagining his dead grandfather. And so his mother comes in, she's like, what are you doing, Joshua? And I have to say that his mother is like the greatest actress of all time. She comes in, she's like, hey, your grandfather died a few... In fact, no, I'll just show you the clip. Watch the clip.
Grandpa Seth has been gone for more than 6 months now. You were at the funeral, and I know it was very difficult for you. It was also very difficult for your father, and for Holly, and for me, his daughter.
Wow.
Just to make sure that we know, like, whose father it was. My father? Like...
No, she didn't say that.
Oh, and which part of the family is this the grandfather? Oh, the mother's. Thank you for pointing it out. It's very natural to say that in a conversation with your kid.
You embarrass yourself because she doesn't say that. She says, and me,
his daughter. Well...
Same thing.
Whatever.
It's really...
We didn't really watch the clip while you were watching it.
Bad script.
Horrible.
Anyway, one thing that was really cool, there was a Joker poster in the background, which I enjoyed. Anyway, then there's an awful scene with the daughter of the family. It's about a family, funnily enough, and her boyfriend sneaks in, and she goes, if my dad comes up here and finds you, he's going to cut your nuts off and eat them.
Almost as ridiculous, actually it's more ridiculous than her lifting weights in her room, all sweaty and stuff, and the weights are like, look like they're just balloons on the side. I don't know.
And she's wearing a weight belt.
Yes. It's like feather that she's lifting. It's ridiculous.
But the daughter, I have to say, her acting is so hard. It's so hard. It's so bad that it's hard to comprehend. It's like, I can't actually get my brain around it. So the family go on vacation, right, and that's the story of the film, and Joshua's dead grandfather keeps appearing and warning him not to go. And they're in the car, and there's this really disturbing scene where Joshua falls asleep, and, like...
He dreams that he's becoming a tree because the goblins give the humans something green, which makes them turn into half human, half tree, and that's when they eat them.
Yeah, but we're getting ahead of ourselves, but he just has this weird dream where, like, he's bleeding and he's screaming, and there's the trolls in the front of all the goblins in the front of the car, and then there's this really goofy one who's just like, it's like, what the hell? Creepy as anything, but kind of... That's when I thought, oh, maybe this film might be not as bad, but then obviously it just
That's when I realised.
Anyway, so they go to this town which is called Nilbog, which is goblin spelled backwards, really clever. And they're swapping houses with a family in Nilbog, and they arrive there, and it's like the family who they're swapping houses with, like, have got like these weird bite marks, and there's like extreme close-ups on it so that you can see how bad the makeup is. It's like, okay, you've got like a patch there that's like, you're trying to make it look like they've been bitten or whatever. And it doesn't look very good, so what do? Let's do an extreme close-up. Why can't they just, So they're not making use of the fact that they've got bad production values. Anyway, the kid's grandpa turns up again, and he tries to get Joshua to stop the family from eating. So Joshua gets up on the table, and well, let's just see what he does.
I must do it. I must do it. I must do it.
Yeah, so Joshua pissed on the food on the table. And what's really funny was when his dad came upstairs and he's like, Joshua!
And you can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it!
I was just like...
Something he did then. He started taking his belt
Started
off.
taking his belt off.
And it seemed like it was going to beat him with a belt.
No, I thought he was going to start pissing on him. I thought, well, this film's crazy enough so far. Anything's fair.
What are you going to do to me, Daddy?
Tighten my belt by one loop so I don't feel hunger pains.
Okay, so then we get the daughter of the family, her boyfriend, and a load of his friends are in a camper van in the forest near them. And one of them, he ventures off into the forest and he sees this woman there and he's like, hey, what's going on? And he follows the woman and she's like, oh, there's these goblins. And the goblins turn up and he's like, oh god. And then we see the goblins for the first time, like, and it's like, wow. They're just like little midgets with sacks. It looks like kids at like one of those, you know, the sack races, you know? It was like, okay, and then there's like, you know, the masks
Those were
and
their
stuff.
clothes.
The masks were, you know, they weren't terrible, but it's like, okay, right, we've got the mask on the head of these midgets now. What should we do for the full body? I just throw a brown sack on them, no one will notice. Absolutely awful.
No movement in the face or anything.
No.
They might as well just put statues there. Because there was nothing.
Back with the main family, and Joshua sees his grandpa in the mirror, and he's like, oh, make sure they don't eat, and you should go home. And then Holly, the daughter, she comes in and she sees his grandpa in the mirror and she starts screaming. Dad comes in, he's like, are you still smoking pot, Holly? Oh, okay then, so... just... Do you know what, I'm just going to cut this here in the middle of the review, hopefully. I actually found something out that I forgot to tell you, and I'm telling you this for the first time. This is an Italian film.
Italian?
It's an Italian film. The filmmaker was Italian and couldn't really speak English, nor could anyone else who was working on the film, apart from the actors. So obviously the script was lost in translation a little. Also, the actors were literally just like, hey, do you want to be in a film? And they were like, yeah, okay. And that was it. Some of them had never acted before. Some of them thought they were just going to be extras. I think that really...
That explains a lot.
It explains a lot, yeah. I can't remember. I can't believe I forgot
I was
to tell you
wondering
that.
how it could be so shit.
So there's a mid-review revelation for you there. It's an Italian film.
Did you skip the part with it? Oh my god.
No, I didn't. Alright, we'll get to that, don't worry. Now the whole town are goblins who want to make the family eat food because once they do, they become the goblins' food. And they become this green stuff. It's creepy, and it's kind of a convoluted concept, and it's like a weird twist on like the familiar story of like, you know, a town against their main characters, you know, like just like a creepy kind of horror film, which just didn't really work that well. And then the guy from earlier on in the film, which we went into the forest and you know, seeing what was happening with this woman, he ends up going to this little house, I guess, or like a chapel or something. What was it meant to be? I don't know. Anyway, he goes in there and there's this crazy overacting witch there, who yeah, she was really bad. Like her whole acting process seemed to be based on just going like that.
I thought her eyes were going to pop out of her skull at some point.
Oh, that actually really hurt.
See? Exactly.
I'm
when
not
you
even
try
kidding.
doing
That
that,
wasn't
it
a
actually
joke.
hurts your eyes. And she did it for like 90% of the movie.
And then the girl that he was with, this is confusing, but anyway, there was a girl there and she gets eaten by the goblins, and then the famous clip from Troll 2,
It's right here.
Roll VT.
They're eating her! And then they're going to eat me! Oh my god!
Wow. That was like, I mean, I've seen that on YouTube before, but like within the context of the film, wow.
Oh my god!
See, you did that with like no emotion, really like dull drone right? But
it still was better, wasn't it?
it was still better.
Yeah,
it still
yeah.
had more emotion
Yeah,
in
I
it.
know.
Actually, it moved me a little.
Yeah,
But
I
you
know.
but it was just so bad. Like, where do they get these people? What were they thinking? Oh God.
It's just the way he's like looking around, like, what's my line again? Then they're gonna eat me. He actually looks away a little bit, like, oh shit, my line.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna eat me. Oh my!
Eventually, the family realise the truth when the whole town throws a party for them in the house, and Grandpa helps the kid burn the lead goblin to death before he gets sent to hell himself. Yeah, well, something. So now the whole town are openly against the family, trapped inside the house, and decide that a seance is the best way to go, to speak to Grandpa from beyond the grave, even though he's dead already. And then all like the townspeople are just stood there like this. You killed our lead goblin. Now it's your turn. And they just all stand there like this.
And they just stand outside the house waiting.
And then the family just walk into the house, and then the goblin people are just standing outside going, what are they doing? So what are you doing? If you want to eat them, go in there and eat them. Jesus. Oh.
And what does this one guy do? He fires like a shotgun and says, let's just remind them that we're still here.
That's probably to the audience there. Let's just remind you that you're still watching a film.
Probably to wake them up or something. I don't know.
And then we get this really weird scene where the creepy witch, she turns back into a normal looking woman but with the same bulging, overacting eyes. She seduces a guy in one of the worst cases of acting I've ever seen in my life. It's one of the guys in the camper van. And the scene serves no purpose whatsoever to the film.
Corn.
Corn on a cob, we'll say no more. And, you know...
And popcorn. Or just show them the clip. Worst kiss in history, if it's even a kiss.
What's the matter? Aren't you hungry?
Actually, I like popcorn.
Well, no problem. All we have to do is heat it up.
So, Joshua's grandpa, he comes back from the dead for about the 10th time, and they go to this Stonehenge Goblin Stone, which is in the witch's hideout, and he dies for a second time, even though he's been dead throughout the whole fucking movie, and it's just like, okay, and he's like, goodbye Joshua, forever. And he fades away, just like our concentration. Then Joshua gets cornered by the witch and goblins, but he fights his way past them by going, wait, I'm going to eat a double bologna sandwich. And they're like, oh no, not a double bologna sandwich. Think of the calories or something, or the cholesterol.
Your cholesterol.
Think of the cholesterol.
And they freak out
It's
as
like,
he
what
digs in.
the actual...
Did you say that bologna sandwich was in a backpack that his
Yeah,
grandfather
his
gave
grandpa
him,
gave
and
him
he
his
said,
backpack.
only used it when you need it the most or something?
Of course, a double bologna sandwich.
Makes perfect sense.
In the end, the family turn up and they touch the stone together, because remember, it's only the power of goodness that can defeat the evil.
There's nothing good about that family, especially not the acting.
Of course, you know, the power of goodness. There is... This whole time that we've been watching this awful film.
If only they were good from the beginning.
I get it now. I get the message of the story. Actually, just sitting here now doing this review, it's clicked. This film's amazing. You know, the production value's bad, the acting is horrible, but the message is so pure and just moves me. Only with the power of goodness can we defeat the evil. Or something. No, it's just the worst film ever made without a shadow of a doubt. Just no two ways about it. And yeah, don't watch it. Don't subject yourself to it like we did. That does move me to tears. Tears of sadness.
And disgust.
And disgust. And shock. And awe and horror. And disbelief. And, you know,
Stuff.
and stuff. So yeah. Thank you for watching. Unfortunately,
I'm sorry.
you have been.
Goblins don't need to justify their cruel acts. They're evil creatures. But let me go on, please.
Okay, so we just decided we haven't rated the film yet.
2.
2?
Yes, because it was better than Attack the Block.
Oh!
Ah, yeah! Go on. I think I gave Attack the Block like 1.5, so... I can still hear you.
Weirdo. It's a good film. Attack the Block. It's better than Dirty Dancing. Why would you shoot yourself in the head and it would come out of my head?
Oh, because you went all the way through.
That's true. But it was still weird. I would rate the film big, fat.
You can't do zeros.
Oh, I can do 0.
Nope.
It's my epic film
At
challenge.
least you can do 0.1.
No, that doesn't even. It doesn't even deserve that. Actually, I tell you what. I'll give it a 0.1, and that 0.1 is for you don't piss on hospitality, because that's funny.
Hey, you.
Yeah?
Your friend has a message for you.
Who? Arnold?
Yeah, that's him. He said to meet him in the house that looks like an old church.
Okay.
You can go through the woods. It's only about a mile away.